All right. Well, our biggest story of the week was the Los Angeles Dodgers making that trip to Washington, D.C. to play the Nationals, but of course also make the traditional visit to the White House and meet with the president who congratulated them on their championship. And we started to see video clips on Monday morning of this. First, it was Shohei Ohtani, everybody, in the Oval Office shaking hands with President Trump. Let's listen to the exchange that was posted on the White House's official website.
Boy, oh boy, what an athlete.
And 3, 2, 1.
You know what you do? And for your family. This is so great to have you. It's a great honor. You're an amazing athlete in person. Have a good time. Take a picture by the Declaration of Independence. It's great. That's a good one.
3, 2, 1.
What a guy. Thank you.
Surreal, Nikka, to hear President Trump meeting Shohei Ohtani in person. Now, I couldn't help but notice Shohei does not say anything in this. He did accept the medal and seemed very gracious. He was smiling. He seemed very grateful for being there. And
do you think that's more of a cultural thing?
I do, yeah. I think he was being very respectful to the fact that the president is a busy dude and has a lot going on. Okay, well, that was fun. But then this big ceremony happened in the White House where all the Dodgers were on stage and Trump was in front of the microphone. And he, of course, made it all about Ohtani here, or at least that's what we saw, because let's take a listen.
In all of baseball history, only 6 players have ever hit 40 home runs and stolen 40 bases in a single season. And an elite group known as the 40-40 Club. It's a 40-40 club, and very few people make it. But unanimous National League MVP, Shohei Ohtani. Looks like a movie star. He's got a good future, I'm telling you. He shattered all of those records last year. Think of it, all of them. And he did something even more because he became the first ever member of the 50-50 club. So 40-40 is top. Hitting 54 home runs and 59 steals, an accomplishment unparalleled in 149 years of Major League Baseball. Think of that. That's just incredible.
I don't think I'll ever get sick of hearing Trump say Ohtani's name the way he did here. It is. We might just have to clip that and save it for the future because it is a good one, folks.
Make its own ISO.
I just think it's hilarious. I also wrote down some notes here. It was just pretty priceless to hear Trump talking about the 40-40 club and the 50-50 club and putting it all into like baseball historical perspective. It's amazing. But he wasn't done yet, folks. He wasn't done yet. Let's take a listen to the second half of this little speech he did.
Even more incredibly, Shohei clinched that achievement in what some have called the greatest game ever. Was it that good of a game? That was a pretty good game, actually, right there. Is he good?
Only getting better.
And he's getting better.
Getting better.
That's scary for a lot of people, huh? Even more incredibly, Shohei clinched the achievement. I mean, it really was, and in a time that, at an age that nobody ever thought was possible. On September 19th, 2024, he did the unthinkable by going 6 for 6. This is a pretty amazing. I didn't realize it was that good. I saw that game 6 for 6 against the Marlins with 3 homers, 10 RBIs, and a pair of stolen bases. Other than that, it was not a great game. How many people have gone 6 for 6? Just period, right? Not very much, right?
Maybe a dozen.
Maybe a dozen. Amazing.
All right, this one really got me good because I thought it was hilarious that Trump was like questioning, was this the greatest game ever? Like that he was reading his cue cards or whatever they wrote for him, and then he turns around this was the classic Trump improv, right?
Yes.
Like, was it the greatest game? Like questioning. It's so funny.
He's like, how wasn't I invited if it was the greatest game?
Exactly. Where was my ticket?
Yeah.
How did I not know it was happening? I'm from South Florida, everybody.
Maybe now they can fix their damn stadiums over there.
Maybe they should get Trump involved with that. Well, it's an idea, folks. Now, I was watching the body language of some of the other players here, like Mookie Betts and Clayton Kershaw. Now, I know if you're listening to the podcast, you can't see this, but you should do yourself a favor and go watch this anyway, because the body language of Betts and Clayton Kershaw while Trump is talking, and Ohtani's standing in between the two of them, which is kind of funny too because he's taller than both of them, and Clayton's pretty tall too, but Mookie's short, so just funny to see. Anyways.
And Trump is not the shortest person either, although he was sitting, though.
Yeah, and Trump did take time to walk over and shake Shohei's hand in front of all of them. So they got a nice up close and personal view of President Trump right there. You can read into that body language on your own, folks, but it's funny stuff. And this whole scene is kind of priceless. I also wrote down here that Trump says at one point, like, this is the greatest or this is one of the best performances or something. And he questions, like, again, was it really that good?
He wasn't invited.
He wasn't. All right. Well, at the end of this, Trump reads off Ohtani going 6 for 6 at the plate, and he says, wow, this is amazing. Like, how many players have done that, And Dave Roberts, chimes in and says, oh, maybe a dozen or so. And Trump says, he repeats, he says, maybe a dozen or so. Amazing. It's so funny. So to me, this is comedy, and a side context into all of this is that a majority of the Dodger fans on Twitter hate that their team went to the White House. And up until Wednesday afternoon, when the Dodgers dropped the first 2 games in Washington, they felt like the Trump curse was on everybody. Like that them going to the White House meant that their team was now going to get cursed.
So you mean the sloppy games that they were playing had no effect on any of it?
Or that maybe like Mookie shouldn't be playing shortstop.
Maybe.
And Tommy Edman should be.
Maybe.
And things like that. Like last year on the World Series team.
Maybe it's an aging team problem.
Maybe there are some aging team problems on the Dodgers that, are going to rear their ugly heads sooner than later.
Yeah.
It happens to everybody. We've already seen it happen with Clayton.
Yep.
Clayton Kershaw, I'm talking about. All right. Well, speaking of Mookie Betts, he had some interesting comments after the White House visit when he met with the media. And here's what he had to say about going to meet President Trump and going to the White House.
Yeah, I think these are the stories that we'll get to tell, when we're done playing, and, years from now we can call each other or see each other at random places. We can talk about stuff like this. So, those are memories that we are making, we made. Hopefully we can make some more. And like I said, these are essentially the people we kind of do life with. And so, you definitely have to be there for them and just have fun with them no matter where you are.
Well, this was kind of a politically correct answer here from Mookie, and I don't expect anything different per se, but I do think that he hit on one of the coolest parts about winning the World Series is just that the memories are going to last you forever and ever, and it doesn't matter who the 26 guys were on that team roster, or even the 40-man roster probably, because I think they all get a ring. If you are a part of that, it's always going to be something special and a memory that you can have with those guys, especially if you were there at the end.
Absolutely. It's one of the coolest things to remember.
Yeah, and going to the White House is part of that. And I do think that the teams that have decided not to go to the White House in recent years because it's President Trump and they just want to make some kind of statement are missing out.
Yeah.
And it's a chance to rise up above politics for a change and just make it not about something nasty. Like Trump loves sports and athletics, and you can hear it in his voice when he's talking. And he might not know all the stats or know what Ohtani accomplished last year.
Like he's a fan of sport,
but he knows that he's good, and he respects Ohtani.
Yeah.
You can see that. He would say the same thing about Jordan, about LeBron. He would do it. He would say, "You're so amazing. You scored more points than anyone, LeBron."
Exactly. This is the fake news that we get is only from the media.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. Well, little short clip to play here from the White House visit, and that was Dave Roberts afterwards talking about the time that they took out of their schedule to go and visit the White House.
It was really special. Everyone was there, outside of Freddie, who's back home nursing his ankle. But I hope we get to do it again next year and go to the White House and celebrate a previous championship. So, yeah, It was great. The president was very generous with his time, and as I'm sure you guys heard, we had an opportunity to go to the Oval Office as well, and that's just something that you only dream of, an opportunity to go to the White House.
And I love what Dave Roberts, he hopes they can go again next year, which means like that they're already planning on going back. They didn't seem to care that it was President Trump. They had a good time.
Oh, of course.
And I think, he kind of kissed the ring a little bit too, and it was like, "Oh, I'm grateful for his time."
It's fantastic.
Yeah, take the president out of it for a second, and just wouldn't you want to go and see the White House and
Sure.
see the Declaration of Independence for real, like in person? Like that's what I'm talking about more. Like this is bigger than politics,
Yeah.
and I'm
How
glad
many-
they went.
How many times Ohtani would get invited to the White House if he wasn't the player he is?
I'm sure he'll be back.
Exactly.
Sadly for the Padres. All right. Well, that was a fun little detour. Something we don't get to do all the time here on the Kanika Sports Show. So it was